everyone, warm welcome to your Wake Up Women series. Today, yet again, we have another special woman, a woman who took charge of her finances. And before that, let me wish you happy Holi, everyone. It's a special day, it's a day full of colors. So, today, I wish a colorful Holi for each one of you, a Holi which fills your life with abundance, love, wealth, and all the financial goals that you want to reach for your life. On this note, let's begin. Let me introduce my guest. She's Amrita Rao. She's somebody who married late, decided to take charge of her finances, and today she's chosen to be among 1 in 3 Indian women who truly take charge of their finances. So today I'm going to introduce her shortly. I am waiting for her to join so that she can truly share her story with you. Let me see if I can invite her in. So guys, stay tuned. Okay, Amrita, I have sent you the invitation to join in. Please jump in. Hey Sheetal, Sonika, good to have you guys. Okay, she's coming.
Good evening.
Hi Amrita,
Thank you,
are you
Priyanka,
here?
and a happy Holi.
Hey,
Can you hear
thank
me?
you. A very happy Holi to you, Amrita. Could you move your camera a little down? I think we'll be
A
able to
very
see
happy
you.
Holi to you too.
Yes,
Can you see me now?
the internet seems to be coming and going for Amrita. So let's wait, guys. Let's
Yeah.
wait for her to jump in. Okay, Sheetal, you can hear her. Hi, Amrita. Can you hear
I
us?
can hear
Hey.
you. I can hear you, but you. Hi.
Awesome.
Yes, I can.
Okay, then let's begin. So, Amrita, warm welcome to
Great.
this super special live with us. Today, I am really excited, and so are our viewers, in listening to your wake up moments. So, I'm really looking forward to that. And before I do that, let me wish you a very colorful, holy, and lot of abundance and love your way. So let's begin. Amrita, could you begin by sharing with our viewers who you are, what you do, and how your childhood has been, especially with money? So go ahead, over to you, Amrita.
Thank you, Priyanka and Women in Wealth, for giving me this opportunity. Holi to everyone. I'm wishing you lots of warm colors
Okay,
and warmth in your life.
I can't really hear you, Amrita.
I can hear you. I don't know. I don't seem to be. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
it's coming and going. Also, your video is not very clear right now. So guys, all the
Can you hear me
internet
now?
challenges that we have in life.
No, my internet just seems to be working fine till now. Can you hear me now? Are you
Okay.
able to hear me?
Yes,
Are you able to hear me now?
it's a little choppy. It's just coming and going. If you can settle at a place, Amrita, I think it'll be better.
Just give me a second.
Yeah. Sheetal, is my voice also breaking up, or is it only Amrita's
Yes.
which is breaking up? How is it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Amrita, I think I can hear you better.
So I've come into the room where there are two internets. Now there won't be any chance of not being able to hear.
Natasha is
Okay.
also sharing that, okay, she can also hear you but can't see you properly. Yeah, it is like
Can
that.
she see me now? Is it better?
Yes, Amrita, let's try it on.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead,
Okay, so your
please.
question was,
Yes, please share a
so
bit about yourself and a bit about how your childhood was with regard to money. So jump in, Amrita.
So I am currently in between jobs. I am in my late 40s, and I have been someone who's been working for the last 25 years. My childhood, it was a very happy one because both my parents were working. We were provided for everything that we wanted in life. So we all our needs and requirements were taken care of. Now, my dad being the eldest, he had to take care of his parents, siblings, and us. So overall, we were taken care of, like we had all our needs were taken care of. And in terms of our wants, our mom took care of that because I think mostly she was around. My dad was traveling a lot when we were younger. At 13, we moved to Delhi. And that is the time when I actually saw a lot of disagreements between them. So I think in my subconscious, money played a very important role. Like, it was not evil, it was not pleasant. I think not pleasant is the category I'd like to put down for my childhood.
Got it, got it. So you
Hmm.
noticed that there were disagreements around money among your parents, and
Correct.
for you, money was something which was not pleasant to deal with. Could we say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Could
Yes,
you
yes.
share more on what you made money mean for you, Amrita, at that time?
See, see, the moment now let me go to the time when I started earning. So I wasn't earning, I was very responsible because I was taking care of the household along with my mother, taking care of my younger siblings. So money was something we were very careful with. But ironically, when I started earning, I splurged a lot because I think our needs were being taken care. The wants were still unfulfilled.
Right,
So I went typically like any kid in the 20s, early 20s. I went overboard. I bought clothes. I bought accessories. I shopped. I discovered places, new places with my friends, and uh, eating out was a new thing then, back in the 90s, early 90s.
right.
So lots of money being splurged on pizzas, eating out, ordering food. So those were the splurges I did, and I love to gift people a lot. So I spent a lot on gifts.
Got it, got it.
So be it colleagues, friends, family.
Right.
So I think I was a fatalist. I lived for the day. I didn't believe that there was a future. Now at this age, I realize that I can live till 80 and I have to take care of my finances.
Right, right.
But at that moment, that song, which is, Kal Kya Hoga, Kisko Pata, that kind of resonated with
Got it,
me when
got
I
it.
was in an
So,
early.
Amrita, I would like to stop
So,
you and actually contribute to our viewers here. Because, guys, what Amrita is talking about is not alien to us. I think a lot of us have seen times where, all our needs were met, and yet we wanted our own money and we wanted to splurge it. And the moment we started working, we actually blew it up. So for Amrita, they were clothes and accessories. For me, they were clothes, shoes, and hair spas. That's what I did, and I can so connect with you, Amrita, on this because yes, at 20 something, I started working at 21. So yeah, we really don't see that there's a big future for which we need to save. First, we think that, okay, let's splurge now, let's spend and really explore life. And I think nothing bad with that. It's good to do that for some time until we all realize
correct.
that, okay, it is getting late if I don't start now.
Absolutely.
So did it get
Uh,
late for you? How was it, Amrita?
Yes, yes. So what happened is when I moved to Bombay in my, mid 30s,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw Bombay culture is very different from the Delhi culture. I'm not saying that Delhi people aren't money minded or aren't conscious about their money, but Bombay is very cutthroat in the sense like, when you order a pizza, if you and I are ordering, we split the money right there and then.
Uh-huh.
What I had seen in Delhi is I pay for it and then we settle it on a later date.
Right.
So this was a new culture for me, and it was absolutely, it hit me in the face, that okay, aisa bhi hota hai, which was good. But then one time around March,
Huh.
taxes, I had no documents, nothing to furnish. So my boss sat me down. She literally pulled my ear, literally, Priyanka.
Wow.
And she's half Sindhi, half Christian. So she pulled my ear and she said, "Are you going to get some big inheritance, or are you going to get some legacy behind?" And I was like, No. Then she took me into the meeting rooms, which is a dreaded that glass ceiling room, and she made me sit down and talk about it. And that's when I got present. And fortunately, that week only, we had some financial investors who came and gave a talk. The HR had organized. So that's when my sales journey started.
Got it.
So I was in my mid 30s when
Got
it
it.
started.
Got it. So mid-30s is when it started for you, and your
Correct,
wake-up
correct.
moment was when one more woman took a stand for you and said, "Hey,
Absolutely.
shake you, and I dare you to do something else. Are you going to be dependent? What's the plan?" So I'm glad that you got that one woman to shake you to kind of
Absolutely.
move forward. So got that wake up moment. So what were the actions you did? You said that okay, the some financial advisors were coming for a talk in your company. So did you follow their advice? Did you try things on?
Yes, so I invested in mutual funds. I invested in a term life insurance because I was single at that point of time.
Uh-huh.
And so it was like the monthly, those SIPs being invested. So I was conscious of that fact. Otherwise, I was like, okay, I'm getting my salary. So that money in, money out was never there. I did for some time initially when I went, but then it used to be periodic whims and fancies कि आज मन किया कर लिया उसके बाद फिर 2 साल तक नहीं छुआ. That's how I was functioning.
Right.
And then post that, I got married and we moved. I moved to Delhi back again,
Okay.
and I was like a teenager when I got married, though I was 40.
Okay.
Because I had not expected. So that was the happiest day of my life. And so then we both started our journey together. So, money wasn't a problem even then. But I think the moment of reckoning, as they say, happened when I broke my ankle.
Uh-huh.
And thankfully, I had a medical insurance. That's again thanks to another provident boss who made me, go invest in a medical insurance. So that came in quite handy. And the post-operation care was very expensive. That also brought me to the fact that money is an important part of life. And, when you are living on your own, unlike when you're living with your parents or family, so rent, electricity bill, or so on and so forth. I got present to a lot of things then,
Right. Got it.
which I wasn't, and my the both our journeys, like my husband and I, we were having a lot of ups and downs
Yeah.
in our financial life because of the extra cost. Breaking a leg, literally breaking an ankle, is an expensive proposition. So we had to hire a attendant. That was also additional cost, and a lot of other things I got present to that. And so for me, 2017-18 was a very, I would say, a very an year which was very difficult because I broke my ankle in 2017, and I was on bed rest. Then I started walking, and that's when I lost my dad. And then the same year, my uncle passed away. So that year, 17, 18, I did a lot of growing up.
Got it.
I got present to the fact
Got it.
the others around me to give me this comfortable life, was struggling a lot. So be it my husband, I've never acknowledged that I'm grateful to him. So I was grateful to him, to my support system, which is my brothers, my parents, everybody was providing me, taking care of
So
me,
Amrita,
which I think
if I
taken for
could stop
granted.
you here. So what I'm getting is that other wake up moments were kind of breaking your ankle and then spending, yes, you had a medical insurance, and yet what I'm getting is you did spend some part of your savings there, and you got
Hmm.
that, okay, you need a lot of finance and money in the years coming ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, breaking of that ankle was a good thing in a way because it broke right after your marriage, is what you were saying, a couple of years later.
Correct.
And
Couple of years
a couple
later.
of years later, and then you lost your dad, your uncle, whom you were really dependent on. Yeah. Okay, I think Amrita, the
Present
movement
a lot of
is
facts because,
probably not working for us. Yeah, yeah. If
yeah,
you could
because I
tell,
wasn't working.
uh,
Yeah, can you hear me again?
yes,
Can you hear me now?
yes, Amrita.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about this.
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. If you can
Just give
settle
me a second.
down, Amrita, it'll be
I'll just.
great. Okay.
Sorry. So,
Okay,
so
so what I'm
basically,
getting is your father, your uncle passing on, and those were more wake up moments, and you probably realized that okay, you can't depend on anyone else. Is that what showed up when your dad passed on? How was it? What was it? What was that wake up?
actually, see, with your father, you are his little princess, no matter what age you are. So you end up getting, those little things that you keep asking for, like you want to buy something, he indulges you.
Right.
So it not that it has stopped, it still continues. But the fact is that I got present to the fact that I was dependent on people around me. For a person who was independent, she was 21. Then I had no, practically, my money in was zero because I had no job. And my money out was, there were no changes because I needed a cook, I needed an attendant, I needed a maid to do my housework. And that wasn't an easy proposition. And plus, I was unsure whether I would walk or not because I still have a rod in my ankle. So that was long. And plus, my mom needed me. So for small things, I was dependent and I was answerable, accountable. And I don't like being accountable, even now. I
Yeah.
am a headstrong girl.
You're speaking for many, many women here, Amrita, because yes, we don't like asking for money. We really don't want to be accountable for money. And yeah, we don't want to give hisab to people. Yes, I get what you're saying. Go ahead, Amrita.
So that pinched a lot. So I got back to working. I just took a job offer because breaking my leg literally broke me down mentally too. Because uh, it's like that sound of that ankle breaking. It
Uh-huh.
still was fresh in my mind. So I got the fear of going out, fear of water. There are a lot of things I battled with, but my support system was very good. People around me were very supportive. I managed to get into a job, which is in 2019, April, I started working. I continued working till April 2020. But then I realized that the money wasn't enough. Then I suddenly realized that I was spending more money to travel because I was commuting from Gurgaon to Delhi on a daily basis, and
Okay.
that's a huge expense,
Right.
And so then I quit that job, and for 2 months, couple of months, I was lying low because I have a parent who is not well. She doesn't keep well, my mother. So I
Okay.
was supporting her, so didn't realize. It's only around September 2020 in the pandemic, when there was a little bit of movement, I was able to go out of the house, go visit people. That's when I got present to the fact that I needed to upskill myself. I needed to apply for a job.
Yeah.
And also, it was a time when I was feeling the lowest ever in my life. That because you didn't see your support system so much, like friends and all, you get to meet them. I
Right.
wasn't meeting them. So then what happened is that I decided that, okay, let me take help. So I did seek help from a friend
Mm-hmm.
who helped me, who showed me a little path because I was lost. And I used to feel that there should be someone who should guide me. So he guided me, but Facebook was my best friend those days because I had nothing to do. I would cook, like any woman who was grappling to, like any working woman who didn't know how to handle the house during the pandemic.
Right.
I was also struggling with my time, but finally I set into a pattern because from March to September is a long time. No? So I got used to it. But then after that, I realized that I'm doing nothing. I'm just on the phone talking to somebody, or I am just sitting and reading something on the Facebook. That's when I stumbled upon the Women on Wealth. The red logo caught my eye, and I was reading. And then I sent a mess. I shared my coordinates, and you won't believe it. I got a call immediately, a couple of a day, and the next day probably,
Uh-huh.
and she connected with me through WhatsApp.
Okay.
And the language she used, the communication, it was as if she was reading my mind. Whatever was in my mind, which I had not typed, she was actually answering it. So that kind of I connected with her because
No,
it
Amrita,
was
now I'm
funny. It was as
losing
if
you.
I knew her for.
Amrita, now I'm
Mhm.
losing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I lost you when you
Sorry,
said
I
that,
think
okay, Sheetal called you. Sheetal is our team member, everyone, core team member, Sheetal Guru.
correct.
Yeah. Amrita, if you can settle
Sorry.
down somewhere, I think it
Ha ha.
will,
I
yeah, yeah, because all
Can you
this,
hear me now?
okay, yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yes, seems
Sorry
like,
about this. My internet is perfect, but today it's acting up because I mentioned the word internet. Shoot Sheetal.
got it. Got it. So,
So
Amrita,
the thing is,
I would like to bring you back. You said that, okay, Sheetal, you shared with us, yeah, you shared your contact details. Well, before you shared that, I want to say that, when you were saying how the pandemic woke you up to your finances, you were at your lowest. Well, a lot of us, one of the positive things that I've seen in the pandemic is that we all were inspired to look within. So not only you, I
absolutely.
think many of us can say that, yeah, we got the opportunity to look within, to look for opportunities then which we want to upskill in. And yes, thank you so much, Amrita, for really saying that, okay, in this lockdown period, let me take charge of my finances and sharing your details, and Sheetal could reach out to you. So you were sharing something about that call with Sheetal.
So no, it was a WhatsApp message from
Okay,
Sheetal.
got it.
Then I connected with her. So the words that she used, the way she spoke, it was as if she'd read my mind. Because see, you had to understand she was an absolute stranger.
Yeah,
And I wasn't keen on sharing, but she made me so comfortable that I shared what my state of mind was at that point of time. And then she showed me the path saying, this is it, you join the introduction. So I joined the introduction, then I met you. And then you spoke, and I think that's 1 hour session or 1.5 hour session was enough to convince me. And then post that, I had my excuse, I can't afford it because I don't have the money. Which was like which is come very rightly that rich dad poor dad book that we're reading.
right.
Instead of making how can I afford it, I flat out said. Then Hira came into the picture, and Hira did a lot of talking to me, but she said something that Amrita, until unless you decide that you need to do this, things won't move for you. So you move, things will move for you, and you won't believe it. I haven't looked back since November because the course started in November onwards. We finished the
Okay.
money gym, and parallelly, lot of things happened because I'd enrolled for some classes earlier, also online classes which were not happening. They started happening, and then I was struggling because in the money gym, the homeworks you gave, I wasn't, I wasn't conscientious or honest enough or committed enough to do it, and I really got to present to the fact that my mind is on all over the place. I'm not organized, considering I have a corporate background. So I was in plan, which was all the things the family members were telling me.
Got
That
it.
you're on the phone all the day, you're on the Facebook. So now I do use Facebook, but for a constructive reason. And then you have uh, so now when we were doing now I'm doing the stocks course. The stocks course wasn't such a difficult task.
Right.
Managing my time, doing the homework, or sitting and reading. Because earlier, the difference earlier when I started the money gym or when I joined the community, I was completely scattered in my mind, very the sense of frustration. Instead of finding a solution, I would just play the victim or get frustrated very fast,
Right.
and if it was too overwhelming, I would shut the book and just not do it.
Right.
So, in short, I would say that life has moved from the first gear to the fifth gear for me because I'm now relearning how to drive and I'm practicing also.
Awesome.
Because that's another thing I did. I've learned driving two times earlier. This is the third time I'm doing it.
Wow.
Now, intent is finally to be independent.
Got it. So what I'm getting about you is, Amrita, when you were at your lowest, you looked at, okay, what are the skills I need to learn? What is it that I need
Correct.
to do? You saw you were not organized. You looked at the feedback that the family was giving you. And then you said, okay, let me do something about this. So whether it is the money gym course at Women on Wealth, whether it is the stocks course or any other courses that you did, but what you then began for was constant skilling up, and this is the real wake up. Because waking up is
Absolutely.
not when you are actually, when you stumbled upon a situation or a circumstance, but it is like when you actually go beyond it and take actions for it.
Absolutely.
And I want to
Being in action, that's what.
congratulate, yeah, I want to congratulate you, Amrita, because very few women in our country really wake up to actions on finances. So yeah, thanks for acting on this area and inspiring all the people around you. So what is the family saying about you now that you're managing your finances? How are they looking at you? Because from being on Facebook constantly, being on social media constantly, today you're saying that you're now being a constructive user of Facebook because you're only
Absolutely.
logging in to learn and to skill up, to move forward so that you can grow financially and otherwise. So, what are the other changes that you've noticed, and also what is your family acknowledging you for?
See, I was a person who wasn't bothered about my appearance. I wasn't taking care of myself. So I've now lost weight from the pandemic. From September to now, I've already lost 9 kilos. I have
Wow.
more targeted more. I am being consistent about my exercise. I am also reading a lot. I wanted to get up early in the morning. I am getting up early, 5:30. I
Wow.
still haven't joined the 5 a.m., 5:30. Uh-huh. I go to Facebook, but I am regular with my decoding sessions because I feel that you're giving so much of gyan, which is basically all that you have read. You just give it in a gist. So even if I read, I can sound very knowledgeable, but that's not the intent. After you have given the content to us, I do go back and read it because I could have another interpretation, you know.
Right.
And I think the greatest support system is finding like-minded people and yet diverse backgrounds, diverse mindsets, because it's like when I initially joined the money gym, my reaction was like, oh my God, I should have come across this when I was 25. I would have been at least I would have got at least 5, 6 millions to myself by now. That's what I thought,
Wow.
but that's not what
Okay.
my intent is right now. Let me look at the future. I will, like I told you the other day, I will die a rich woman now.
Okay, that's a change from not knowing anything
That's the
about
change.
finances
Yes,
to coming to a point where you are attending all the Facebook lives that we run. So
absolutely.
guys,
Absolutely. And you know,
Amrita is talking about a Facebook Live that we run on decoding the wealth newspapers, the finance newspapers, and she's mentioning how she's learning from them. So I am so inspired, Amrita, that you're constantly talking about, okay, what can I learn today? Can I get up early and be inspired to be in action with or in
action,
all the
correct.
areas of my life? So you spoke about health, you spoke about your relationships, you spoke about wealth. So it seems that okay, you juggling in all these areas and putting all of them on track. So congratulations on that
Correct.
because I think yeah, this is what we
And
women are. Go ahead, Amrita, please.
yes, and another thing was that my dad was a person who'd take care of everything. So I wasn't pitching in like my husband was doing everything, and I would let him. I would just ask him for money. So I've started taking care of the household expenses. So that money now I have in my hand. I know what is my monthly expenses, which I didn't know. If I remember the money Jane I gave you were the first one to point out that it can't be this much. I'm sure it's more, because we were talking about emergency funds, which I knew of, but
Right.
never thought I would get an emergency till it happened to me.
Right.
So I think the best thing that's happened during the pandemic is women and wealth.
Got it.
And so I'd like to say that thanks to all the three women and the other women. So I've come across other women in the group also, but the three of you who are on the forefront. So it's you, Sheetal and Hira. I said kudos to you. You're doing a wonderful job. Keep up the good work because, unlike certain mindsets where you learn the tricks and you're doing good and you're creating wealth, you didn't keep it to yourself. You're sharing it. So you're, I think, wealthier by doing that. I mean, apart from, of course, the finance part, but I think I think that was the best thing that's happened to me. 2020,
Oh.
Women in Wealth.
Thank you, Amrita. And let this journey just go on because, you don't work on your money life for just 1 year or 2 years. This is a lifetime of a journey that we're taking on together. And thank you so much for waking up and not only waking up, but actually being in action and sharing your journey with us. It takes courage to do
And
that, and I truly acknowledge
correct.
you. Thank you.
And I'd like to add that I'm not 100% in accordance with my being in action, but I think, like you mentioned, so that 1%
Right.
every day, that makes a difference. And I think it initially is very difficult and can be overwhelming. Like when I see my WhatsApp being pinging the whole day, I think, kahan phas gayi? Like at times. But then I am learning, because if somebody's writing something, asking a question, I go back to Google, I read about it, or I ask. I have an immediate family member who's a commerce graduate and worked with the finance banks of the world, So I call her up, I check with her, she explains. So she's also impressed that earlier I wouldn't know what, certain things is thanks to E.T. Wealth. I know now. I ask her questions, So she's amazed that I'm reading E.T. Wealth.
Wow. So not only are we learning, growing our finances, but we're also impressing our friends around. So more power to you,
Correct.
Amrita, on that. Thank you so much for sharing and
Thank you.
coming here, taking out your time and sharing it with us. Thank you. Absolute
Thank you
privilege.
so
Keep
much.
growing, and we're all together in this. To our viewers,
Will do.
guys, this is what a journey of a woman is. Look at where she came from. Amrita came from a household where her father was taking charge of her finances. He was doing well until one day she lost him. And she also broke an ankle. And she said to herself, okay, now what? Now do you want to depend on your husband or you want to take charge? And she chose to take charge and become financially educated. And well, it happened right here in the pandemic. So it came as a big, big boon for her. What about you?
Absolutely.
Are you taking charge of your finances, everyone, in this coronavirus crisis? Because it is really, really pointing people inwards, is how I see it. So, closing the live here, everyone, we have a free introduction to our flagship course, the Money Gym, coming up on Sunday at 11 a.m. If you've watched this video and you are inspired by Amrita's story, do get in touch, and we are happy to support you get started and alter your financial destiny. On this note, guys, have a very, very colorful Holi.
Thank
Loads of love. Thank you, Amrita. More power to you. And
thank you
we'll
so much.
come back every Monday with more women to inspire you. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thank
Loads
you.
of
Bye
love.
bye.